Hey, it's Bernard here. What if I told you the side hustle that made Mark Cuban his first million was so simple? Anyone could have done it, but almost nobody did. It's true, and today we're diving into the fascinating story behind Cuban's incredible path to wealth, uncovering exactly how he went from sleeping on floors to becoming a billionaire. But what exactly was this secret hustle, and how did he turn it into massive success? Mark Cuban didn't start with deep pockets or special connections. Instead, he began as a young guy fresh out of college with nothing more than determination and a sharp eye for opportunity. After graduating, Cuban found himself bouncing between odd jobs, selling software, and even bartending just to keep the lights on. So how did a struggling bartender manage to create a $1 million business empire? Here's where it gets interesting. In the early days of personal computers, Cuban noticed something most people overlooked. Nobody was creating user-friendly manuals for complex software programs. Imagine buying software without knowing how to use it. Sounds frustrating, right? Cuban saw this frustration as his golden opportunity. But how did he capitalize on it? He began studying the most complicated software on the market and started writing clear, easy-to-understand user manuals. He wasn't a software engineer or a coding genius, just a great communicator with an understanding of what people needed. Soon, he started his first company, Micro Solutions, right from his small apartment. But was this small idea really enough to make him millions? At first, progress was slow. Cuban spent countless late nights writing manuals, often surviving on cheap meals and sleeping only a few hours a night. But here's the twist. This struggle didn't discourage him, it fueled him. He was obsessed with creating the best possible manuals that even total beginners could easily understand. But did anyone actually care about user manuals that much? It turns out they did. Businesses quickly realized the incredible value of software documentation that employees could actually use. Orders started flooding in, and Cuban's side hustle quickly became his main gig. He transformed his apartment into a bustling workspace, hiring a few passionate employees to help him manage demand. But how did this tiny apartment-based business become a $1 million empire? As Micro Solutions expanded, Cuban didn't just stop at writing manuals. He began offering comprehensive tech support and consulting services to businesses struggling to adapt to new software technologies. He realized that companies weren't just buying manuals, they were buying confidence and clarity in navigating tech they didn't fully understand. This deeper insight turned Cuban's small operation into a vital resource for countless companies. But just how big could Micro Solutions actually become? In less than a decade, Cuban's business was thriving, attracting attention from major players in the tech industry. He'd built something truly special, a company with a clear purpose and high value. But here's what nobody saw coming. Cuban made a decision that would catapult his wealth and pave the way to billions. What was this surprising move, and how did it change everything for him? In just a moment, you'll discover exactly what Mark Cuban did next that completely transformed his financial destiny, making him not just a millionaire, but setting the stage for his future billions. Plus, we'll uncover how these same strategies can work for you, no matter where you're starting from. Ready to learn the game-changing secret that propelled Cuban to unimaginable wealth? Let's dive deeper. Cuban knew the power of timing, and just when Micro Solutions was hitting its peak, he made a stunning move. He sold the entire company to CompuServe for a staggering $6 million. This single strategic decision didn't just give Cuban financial freedom, it taught him something crucial about building real wealth. But how exactly did this early success shape Cuban's billionaire mindset? Rather than resting on his newfound wealth, Cuban immediately started looking for bigger opportunities. He reinvested the money into new ventures, boldly stepping into emerging markets like online streaming, before most people even knew what the internet could really do. Ever hear of broadcast.com? If not, you're about to discover how Cuban turned a visionary idea into billions practically overnight. With his friend Todd Wagner, Cuban launched broadcast.com, one of the world's first internet radio platforms. Initially, most people thought it was just a quirky experiment with no real value. But Cuban saw what others missed. The future was digital broadcasting. Within a few short years, the company exploded in popularity. But here's the question. How exactly did a website streaming sports games and radio broadcasts online catch the eye of tech giants? The answer is simple: innovation and timing. Yahoo quickly recognized Broadcast.com's enormous potential, and in one of the biggest deals of its time, acquired Cuban's startup for an unbelievable $5.7 billion. Overnight, Mark Cuban became a billionaire, skyrocketing from a struggling entrepreneur to one of the richest and most influential business leaders in the tech world. But how did Cuban avoid the fate of many overnight billionaires who quickly lost their fortunes? Instead of flashy purchases or wild investments, Cuban focused on smart and steady moves. He diversified his assets, becoming the charismatic investor and owner of the Dallas Mavericks NBA team, turning the franchise into champions. He also became a household name by appearing on Shark Tank, investing in and mentoring hundreds of entrepreneurs with promising ideas. Cuban's philosophy was simple yet powerful. Never stop looking for new opportunities and always reinvest your success. What does Mark Cuban's journey mean for you? His story highlights the incredible potential hidden in everyday problems, just like creating software manuals or recognizing early online streaming opportunities. The truth is, success doesn't require extraordinary ideas, just the courage to pursue ordinary ideas extraordinarily well. Imagine applying this principle to your own life, spotting an overlooked opportunity, executing relentlessly, and reinvesting your success into greater ventures. That's exactly how Mark Cuban created billions from nothing. But what overlooked opportunities are around you right now? Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, which of Mark Cuban's strategies surprised you the most, and how will you use his insights to transform your own journey?